morning. Let me say it once again. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is so wonderful to be with you this September morning. And I'm just beaming from ear to ear. My name is Christina Church, and I have the privilege and the joy of serving this wonderful community as your minister. Oh, thank you. I've been waiting for this moment, and it's here. It's arrived. Welcome to this Sunday when we begin our two services in our sanctuary, one at 9:15 and one at 11 o'clock. All are welcome at both services. Both services are for all ages. And if you're here for the first time or the 1,000th time, we're so glad that you're joining us this morning. I want to take a brief moment and greet the folks that are joining us virtually on Zoom. So there's the camera over there, and we're so glad that you're with us. We know that we are one community. We have some activities and some things for busy hands down here at the front. They're also for all ages. So if you feel like you would like something to do with your hands or a little fidget or something, feel free to come down and check out our little section down here. I would also just like to share that we have a monthly theme. Each time that we meet, we are considering a different monthly theme, and the month of September's theme is invitation. So we'll be considering what it means to be invited to participate and celebrate and honor the autumn equinox, which is taking place, which actually took place at 8:45 this morning, technically, but we're celebrating it all day today. So thank you all for being here, and let's get started with our worship.
Please sing with us.
This pretty planet spinning through space, our garden, our harbor, our holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant spins us around, all through the night, safe till the morning light. This pretty planet spinning through space, our garden, our harbor, our holy place. This pretty planet sun going down, our garden, our harbor, our holy place. Golden sun going down, our gentle blue giant spins us around. This pretty planet spinning through space, our garden, our harbor, our holy place. This pretty planet spinning through space, our garden, our harbor, our morning light. Golden sun going down, our garden, our harbor, our morning light. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant, spin us around, all through the night, safe till the morning light.
Our call to worship this morning is words by Sarah Getty McNeil. Come in from the crisp or the mellow air outside. Come in wearing the autumn sunlight on your face. Come carrying the turning of the seasons in your heart. Whatever and however the greatness of life is speaking to you now, you are welcome here in our circle of friends.
And we light our chalice with these words of Sharon Wiley. The hours of day and night are in balance. In honor of earth-centered traditions that celebrate this time of year, we observe that the flaming chalice holds the elements of the 4 directions: earth, air, fire, and water. The lamp oil for earth, the air that feeds the flame, the fire we light, and the chalice itself, the cup, the symbol of water. We light our chalice and reflect on the balance we seek in our lives, the balance we seek in our hearts, the balance we seek in our world. Let us open our hearts and join our voices in our opening hymn, Gather the Spirit. The words are up on the screen.
Gather the Spirit, harvest the bough. Our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this art. Our draws in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
So we're going to do a little, kind of like a meditation, but not guided today. We've come together at this most sacred time of the year because, life and death and dark and light, they're in balance in this endless dance that they have together. So let us take a moment to think about what is in balance in our lives. Just take a moment, quiet yourself, and ask yourself, what do I have in balance right now? And then to balance that out, let's take a moment to consider, well, maybe what could be a little more balanced than it has been lately, right? What's that? What's that for you? As we move through this wheel of time, we're always leaving something behind. We're never fully the same through each season, right? Carrying things forward, leaving things back. So I wonder, maybe we'd like to leave something behind today. Maybe you're ready to leave something behind. Maybe you aren't quite sure you should leave something behind, or you haven't found a way to do that yet. I wonder what you would leave behind today if you had the chance. What would you discard? When we leave behind the things that unbalance us, we make room for a personal harvest. So at this time, I would like some help from the greeters or from anybody who would like to come and share these bowls of apples throughout the congregation. And everybody grab an apple slice if you would. Now, when you get your apple slice, do not bite it. Don't you do it. You have to wait. The teenagers in the first service just dove right in. I had to stop them. You can smell it. Sure, you can give it a lick, but don't bite it yet. Once you have your apple, does everybody have an apple? I think so. Almost. Okay. All right. I invite you to take a bite from your apple, but don't swallow it. Hold the bite in your mouth and consider the perilous position your apple is in. Just a moment ago, it was safely part of a whole apple, had never known anything different, and now it stands on the cusp of becoming a part of you. The molecules within it will become you. There is literally no difference between this apple and you. Only time separates us. All right, you can chew it and swallow it if you'd like. This apple is the symbol of a bountiful harvest that each year brings gifts to us, our own personal harvest. So let's consider what our personal harvest is. What are the fruits of your spirit? What gifts did you manifest over the summer that you hold on to and that you'd like to bring with you into this next season of change? You did receive a leaf, hopefully, when you came in. If you didn't receive a leaf and you need one, just raise your hand. I'd like us to take a few moments to quietly reflect on what gifts that we have that we harvested throughout the summer that we are going to hold on to and bring with us into this fall. And I want you to write down what those gifts are on your leaf. And we'll take some time to do that. And we'll start when the chime rings. When you are finished, you may bring your leaf forward. If you would like your gift shared with the congregation, hand it directly to me. If you would like it to just be a part of the wider congregation's mural, that'll be up next week, set it on the altar. Does that make sense? Everybody understand? Please repeat. One more time, write on your leaf the gifts that you harvested, your own personal gifts that you have, that you're going to bring with you into this new season, that you're hanging on to for the fall, that carry you, that sustain you, that you want to hold on to. Write those onto your leaf, your gifts. Does that make sense? It doesn't have to be super specific. And then we'll combine them with everyone's and create a wall for next week. Warmth, love, relaxation, and peace. Speaking up for ourselves. Commitment to community service. Time. Patience and flexibility. Dance. Determination. Passion, hope, and activism. Love of joy, of family, time to think. Renewal of purpose, welcoming change and growth. Color, beauty, love, and wisdom. These gifts of our congregation. Got it. Joy, raspberries, and love. Animals, visiting my yard. I love that too. Good health, new friends, and new adventures. Solace, connection, family, the gift of gratitude, eating with friends, hope and appreciation, a happy new home, compassion for others, prosperity and gratitude. So many gifts in this congregation. Appreciation for my life, gratitude for all. Generosity, love and compassion. Kindness and friendship. Family memories, gratitude for nature. Patience. Tomatoes. Arts and crafts. Enthusiasm and creativity. Love, connection, and care. Singing, working on singing. Yes. These gifts that you share, spirit of life. Keep these gifts safe. May they grow inside each person in this room and become real and experienced and valued. Amen.
In this community of love and care, we hold one another in compassion. And so I'd like to invite us into a time of silence now to honor all the joys and the sorrows that we brought with us today, and all those of our loved ones and our wider circles. If you have a sorrow or a loss, something that is weighing on you this morning, I invite you to complete one of the yellow cards that have come around and that you maybe had access to at the beginning when you came in. And I want to share some of the sorrows that were shared with us this morning. Ann Andrews and Janet Stallone's members of her Covenant group would like to share regretfully that Janet is once again in Akron General Hospital with pneumonia. So please hold her in your hearts with good wishes for her recovery. Claudia Miller shares that she is thinking of Mary. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a joy. That's for later. Sorry. I didn't organize my yellow cards very well. Heidi Sumner shares memories that she's carrying today for her first husband, Michael, who would have been 56 today. Heidi, our hearts are with you. And Amanda Rome shares that family friends Ryan, Katie, Henry, and Mary are grieving the news that their 6-month-old baby Elizabeth has inoperable brain cancer and is on hospice. So please, she asks, keep their whole family and their extended circle in your thoughts and your prayers over the next weeks. Spirit of life, turner of our pretty planet, holder of all that is within us and without us, be with us on this first day of autumn. Help us to hold in care and compassion all those who are suffering, all those who are lonely, all those who are ill, all those whose hearts are heavy, all those who are living in danger and fear, and those whose lives are full of deprivation and lack. Today we hold especially in our hearts the people of Lebanon, especially those who have lost loved ones in the attacks of the past week, as well as always the people of Gaza who continue to suffer in this 4th season of war in their land. And as ever, the Israeli hostages and their families who live in terror for their lives and their loved ones. May we, the people of planet Earth, find a way to end this terrible conflict. We hold too the people of Springfield, Ohio, in our hearts, nearer to home, where careless and untruthful words have inflamed prejudices and brought suffering to an entire community. May these tensions cease, and may the residents of Springfield find a way forward in unity and mutual respect. Spirit of life, may all of us, within and without our walls, find comfort when we hurt, peace when we are frightened, and may we always remember to keep love at the very center of our lives. Amen. And now it is time for me to share with you the joys of this community and those whose hearts are celebrating. I am one of those people as I celebrate with you, being with you this morning, and what a joy it is. I want to assure you that I am not contagious, although you just saw me have a coughing fit. I have some sinus things that are going on with me, and every once in a while it results in a coughing fit. So I'm managing that, and I thank you for your patience. And here are some of the wonderful celebrations that are happening in our community. First of all, the Hobbs Hall inaugural art exhibit featuring the work of F.J. Cluth is now happening. So please stop by Hobbs Hall, and the art team, Carol, Ann, and Jan, are delighted to announce this, with special thank yous to Dave Krantz and John Broverone for installing the hanging system, so we can all enjoy that later on. Claudia Miller shares that she's thinking of Mary and Randy with joy. Happy retirement to Kat Holt from Jennifer Gregg shares this. Kat will be retiring at the end of the month and from the Portage County Health District, and will be presenting naloxone, is that how it's said? I always say Narcan, but okay. Naloxone training in Hobbs Hall after the service, and we'll celebrate Kat's retirement with cake. So naloxone and cake, what a fabulous combination. And finally, Elaine Bowen, my wonderful worship associate today, shares a joy that her grandnephew Theodore, known as Theo, was born last night in Wisconsin on his grandma Cindy's birthday. And heck, that's something to celebrate. Congratulations to the whole family. To all those whose hearts are lifted up or weighed down today, we witness you, we see you, we love you, and it is an honor for us to bear witness to the ups and downs of life and accompany you on your journeys. Thank you for sharing. And now how did I get so far ahead of myself? Oh, we have a musical meditation, which is a familiar text, but maybe not familiar words. So take it away, Holly.
To everything there is a season. To everything there is a time. For every purpose under heaven, there is a time, a proper time. To live and die, to plant and harvest, to kill and heal, to wreck and build, to cry and laugh, to mourn and dance. There is a time, a proper time, a time to cast away, to bring together, a time to be embraced, to be alone, to find, to lose, to keep and give. There is a time, a proper time. To tear apart, to bring together, to be silent and to speak, to love and hate, for war and peace. There is a time, there is a time, a proper time. To
I unequivocally and proudly proclaim, I love summer. I love almost everything about it, maybe minus the mosquitoes and occasional oppressive humidity. But the warmth and brightness of the sun, dressing in fewer layers of clothing, feet out of shoes, and oh, the fresh produce, apricots to watermelon, cucumbers to zucchini, and everything in between. I grew up on the southeastern coast of Massachusetts, and that meant weekends at my grandparents' cottage in a town called Mattapoisett on Buzzards Bay. I love the beach, and in the summer, it is my weekend home, my place of peace, to listen to the song of Lake Erie, feel the sand between my toes, bask in the glorious sun. Facebook friends know when I've been up to Menor Headlands. There are the weekly photos of waves, seagulls, blue skies, puffy clouds, the lighthouse at Fairport Harbor, and maybe even a sailboat or two. Did I mention I love summer? I love summer. When summer begins to wane, I grieve and mourn its passage. I don't use those words lightly. It affects me deeply as a loss of warmth. Thank you today. A loss of those beach days, a loss of comfort. I want to cling to it as long as I can. Summer is not over at Labor Day, and I'm sad when folks think or say that it is. It's not. It seems there's an abrupt societal and merchandising marketing shift from summer to fall with back to school shopping, the influx of everything pumpkin spice, of which I am not a fan. Apples, not pumpkin. The rush toward Halloween, and then the mad dash toward the holidays. Do you remember the song lyrics? Slow down, you move too fast. You know the song. You know it. Summer to autumn needs to transition gently for me. I need to ease into it, to soften the transition. This is the season, the harvest of apples, picking in the orchards, making homemade applesauce, and oh, the smell of homemade apple pie. There is that gradual change of leaves' color. And it's the perfect time to plant bulbs for spring flowering. I do love my daffodils in the spring. The hope and promise of bright, beautiful blooms helps keep me going through the chill of October, the dismal gray of November, the cold, snowy days of January and February, and admittedly, my mental health challenges with seasonal affective disorder and recurrent depression. It's a tough time. It's not that I dislike or hate fall or the people who love it. We all have our seasons. I simply need time to grieve and mourn as I say goodbye to my most wonderful time of the year. Let's join together in a musical moment, Round and Round, led by Holly, Vanessa, and Emily. Please join in as you are so inclined.
Round and round the earth is turning, turning ever into morning, and the morning into night. Round and round the earth is turning, turning ever into morning, and from morning into night. Round and round the day is always turning, turning ever deep the night, cycling through time in a spiral, dance among the song of the stars. And round the earth is turning, the light, the day is always turning, turning through the dark, how deep the night, cycling through time in a spiral, and round among the song of the stars, how bright the dawn, ever into morning, and from morning into night.
As I was walking my dog the other afternoon, I noticed a bunch of brown and orange leaves falling in a slow-motion rain onto the path in front of me. Having walked this trail all summer long, I could easily see the subtle increase in a number of leaves lying on the well-trod ground. Even though the temperature was still about 75 degrees in the shade, and I could easily forget it was mid-September, I realized Mother Nature was once again making her slow shift from summer to autumn. Though I love the long, warm days of summer, I've always embraced the transition into fall. For me, it's a chance to slow down and breathe before the holiday madness begins. I can finally catch up on books, TV shows, my writing, and even church, as my summer obligations, such as leading 2 bike rides per week for my bike club, slide away. Instead of filling the time with more obligations, I try to keep my schedule clear to appreciate each of the beautiful changes going on in the world around me. I like the chilly mornings that hint of colder weather to come. I love watching the progression of the leaves each week as they change to a brilliant collage of orange, red, brown, yellow. I love bonfires, the smell of burning wood, the crackling sound of flames. I love Halloween and the chance to imagine myself as someone or something else. And of course, I love pumpkin spice. Yes, I'm one of those who worship in the cult of pumpkin spice. But I'm an OG pumpkin spice gal. Long before it was a marketing ploy, I fell in love with my Grandma Emhoff's homemade pumpkin pies on Thanksgiving. It has always been my favorite flavor and pie, and frankly, I could eat a pumpkin treat any time of the year. It's only in the fall, though, that I can get my hands on many of them. Sweet treats aside, there's an energy in the air that seems to suggest that anything is possible. It must be why the ancient pagans believed that the veil between the mortal and spirit worlds become thin. It's not hard to imagine our departed loved ones walking with us in the tall evening shadows. My thoughts always seem to wander to those I've lost, and it's one of the times in the year when I make the effort to visit their graves. I know a lot of people want to resist the change to colder weather, but I truly would not appreciate the warmer, greener months if I didn't have to live through the colder, darker ones. And now, if you could sing with us I'm missing what the hymn is. A grateful turn, or no, wait, sorry. Number 53, I walk the unfrequented road. See, I'm not very good at improv.
You can rise, please. We'll sing together.
and bind the mystic sheaf. The amber air, the rivers flow, the rustle of thy leaf. A beauty springtime never knew haunts all the quiet ways, and sweeter shines the landscape through its veil of autumn haze. I face the hills, the streams, the wood, and feel with all akin. My heart expands their fortitude, and peace and joy flow in.
That prophetess of pop, Yoko Ono, once shared song lyrics that said, "Spring is for innocence, summer is for exuberance, autumn is for reverence, and winter is for persistence." Autumn is for reverence. I take great comfort in having a few anchoring points in the year so that no matter what's happening in my life or in the world, they help me find a grounding in this earth, on this planet, as a creature of the northern hemisphere. Maybe it's partly because I spent so much time living in Alaska during my tween and teen and early adult years that I tend to notice and feel those changes. Changes in the light that come with each season of the year. In Alaska, we celebrate with great feeling the winter solstice and the summer solstice, the longest and shortest nights of the year, the time of everlasting night, the time of everlasting daylight. But frankly, autumn in Alaska, well, if you blink, you can miss it. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it's very short. And spring? Honey, that's known as breakup, and breaking up is not pretty, right? So we don't always, as Alaskans, bring reverence or pay particular attention to these less showy turnings in the year, when the seasons turn and transition with the equinox. The time when the day and the night is balanced all over the world. And it's also the day that we designate as the first day of autumn. And as we've explored already, that can mean lots of things to lots of different people. There can be that wistful feeling, that sadness, as we say goodbye to those long summer days. There can be an anticipation and a glorying in all the fall things and the sweaters and the cocoa and the casseroles, brightly colored squashes, leaves, wool, sweaters, and yes, pumpkin spice. But however you feel about autumn and pumpkin spice, there's that undeniable change in the air that we're all subject to. And I'm just learning the particular and local signs of autumn in Kent, of this season, in this place, in this time. In the past week, I've noticed little critters scurrying about, mostly little black squirrels, but some others, as they prepare for what's coming, just like we do. I've seen geese flying in a V, a very familiar sign to me of the fall, but they were flying due west. And I was very confused by that, very confused. I'm not used to geese flying west in a V. I've seen mysterious wafting mists in the hollers and the low-lying meadows on one of my morning drives recently. It was beautiful and mystical. And the tall trees, well, they seem to be blushing with just a hint of pinky red on their outer branches, as if somebody just told a little off-colored joke. Now, some of these are familiar, some of these are brand new, and my nose, of course, is getting used to some new pollens around here and some new molds that it's never come into contact with that are affecting me in some real funny ways. And I apologize about that. But it gives me great comfort to know that in all of the places that I've ever lived, today is that day of balance, of equal days and equal nights. And maybe at this point in time, it's the only balance we can be assured of finding in our lives. So many of us have so little time for rest or reflection or fun or leisure activities. And then others of us may feel stalled out, lonely, stagnant, on the outside looking in to the heart of things, wishing we had more things to look forward to. Then there's more layers. We're bracing for a political decision filled with drama and turmoil later this fall. No matter how it comes down, we know that it will be life-changing. And we're feeling in our bodies this time of year that isn't what it used to be. Maybe it feels like it isn't what's supposed to happen on September 22nd. The heat, the humidity, wrong time signs of the season that was supposed to be somewhere else in the year. So what can we do when everything feels out of balance? Well, autumn is for reverence. We can begin always by grounding in gratitude. Gratitude for our lives on this pretty planet that we share. And the astounding coincidence that life arose here at all, that it led to us being here in this time and this place. For me, anchoring down in these turning points of the year can be helpful for me, like just doing little things that remind me that this is the day of the turning. Like, might sound silly, but changing my toothbrush. You know, you're supposed to change your toothbrush every 3 months, right? Well, that's a perfect time to remember to do it. And, you know, changing my water filter, which is also something that you're supposed to do every once in a while. Just little things like that. Finding gratitude for the summer that's passing, forming intentions for the season ahead, being inspired by the balance of the days and the nights, so fleeting before we tip over into the darker, quieter time of the year. So there's a turning inward that happens now as well, a deepening, a slowing down a bit that can happen in this season, but it's not always supported by our outer culture, which, with its back to school and back to church and back to regular business at this time of year, can feel even more frantic than ever. So I invite you to pause today, sometime in your day, when you're able, to bring sacred presence to this turning of our planet. Mark the season in your own ways, the ways that you know are right for you. Maybe what's important is not that we force ourselves to love it or to hate it, or embrace it or spurn it, but just notice. Notice with gratitude and reverence, because autumn is for reverence. Be present and feel whatever we feel about this turning, and know that all of it can be included in reverence. And we can ask, what are we grateful for? What do we want to bring into this season? What needs letting go? How do we find balance in our lives? Not just a momentary balance before it all falls apart, but the kind that can carry us through the ups and downs and help us to return to equilibrium when we get out of tune with ourselves, always with compassion and with love. Autumn is for reverence. May you find some reverence today. Each week, this community takes an offering, and this is an opportunity for us to practice one of our values, generosity, to share what we have with one another, with the work of this congregation inside our walls and in the wider community. This month, our special designee for our special collection is the League of Women Voters of Kent, doing important work here in the community. So there are several ways to give, which are shown on the screen. We invite you now into a time of generosity.
Come as the summer turns toward autumn, come as the long night stars climb higher, come as time's unceasing turning wheels us around round the harvest fire. So we go from daylight toward the night, so we go turning on through life. Come as the sun turns bearded barley from soft green to a brazen bronze. Come as the sunflowers rest their heads in the peace of sleep while the sun spins on. So we go from daylight toward the night. So we go turning on through life. Come as mistakes turn into wisdom. Come as the rash become the sage. Come as the blooms of youth grow into the feast and the seed of our autumn days. So we go from daylight toward the night. So we go turning on through life. One more time. So we go from daylight toward the night. So we go turning on through life.
And now the time has come where we extinguish the chalice. Please join in the words on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts when we are together again. Our closing hymn, number 163, For the Earth Forever Turning. Please rise in body or in spirit and join our voices as we close this sacred hour. Turning for the skies, for every sea, for our lives, for all we cherish. Sing we are joy
changes abound around us, within us, between us, in our communities, our neighborhoods, our beloved faith communities. Changes abound. May we each find the balance point that we need as we move through our ever-changing world, the balance between the old and the new, the known and the unknown, between the familiar and perhaps the bold and risky possibilities that may be there waiting. May it be so, and thank you. Blessed be.